We want to go to the latest on that emotional home invasion murder trial in Connecticut. The trial resumed yesterday with more heart-wrenching testimony. In a moment, we're going to speak exclusively with a close friend of the only survivor of that attack. But first, we want to go to CBS News national correspondent Jeff Glor at the courthouse in New Haven. Jeff, good morning.
Hey, Harry, good morning to you. After the suspects were arrested 3 years ago, one of the suspects spoke to police for about 70 minutes. Police say he was fairly emotionless during that interview, but the words themselves were revealing and disturbing. The latest testimony about the murder of Jennifer, Michaela, and Haley Petit paints a picture of a simple robbery gone horribly wrong. On Wednesday, a police detective gave a gripping account of a confession given by defendant Stephen Hayes. Hayes recounted how things quickly got, quote, out of control.
This was very powerful testimony because these are the words of the defendant himself as to the savagery that these two imposed on this family.
Hayes told police that accomplice Joshua Komisarjevsky entered the Petit home through an unlocked basement door and beat William Petit with a baseball bat. Quote, the man began screaming and there was blood all over the place. Petit, the only survivor, spoke outside court.
Another tough and painful day for the Hawke and Petit families, and I think everybody saw that who listened to the testimony.
It was the explanation of the rapes that was most chilling. Hayes says he escorted Jennifer Hawke-Petit to the bank where she withdrew $15,000. And when they returned, Komisarjevsky had already sexually assaulted 11-year-old Michaela. Hayes says Komisarjevsky told him to, quote, have sex with the mother to square things up. She was later strangled to death.
Hayes is trying to point to his co-defendant and say he was the bad guy. He was the worst one.
Jurors saw just-released surveillance photos of Hayes purchasing gas that prosecutors say was used to set the house on fire in an attempt to cover their tracks. Medical examiner Wayne Carver gave graphic testimony detailing how smoke inhalation took the lives of daughters Haley and Michaela. He found soot in Michaela's voice box, airways, and lungs, showing it took several minutes for her to pass away. Some of the testimony was so unsettling yesterday, the Petit family had to leave that courtroom, Harry. As you know, the medical examiner will be back on the stand again today. Harry?
Yeah, Jeff, thanks very much. In New Haven, Connecticut this morning. We were there when they left the courtroom. Ron Bookey is a friend of the Petit family. He joins us now from Rocky Hill, Connecticut. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Harry.
How long have you known Dr. Petit and his family?
Over 40 years. Over 40 years.
There's some controversy swirling around this because the death penalty is at stake in this case. And people are wondering if this is what the Petit family wants.
Well, people have to understand that it's not up to the Petit family, it's not up to the Hawke family on whether the death penalty is imposed. The state of Connecticut has a death penalty, and as a law, Mr. Darrington is in charge of carrying out that law.
This is the prosecutor.
And as the prosecutor. And it was his decision to carry out the death penalty. And I think it's rather simple. If you can't prosecute this case as a death penalty case, what would you ever prosecute as a death penalty case? It doesn't get any more brutal or barbaric than this case has been. So he has to go forward to that. So despite what some people may think, Bill and his family and the Hawke family really don't have any input as far as what is going to be the result and how the case is going to be carried out.
How hard has it been for you to observe your friend and the other family members in the courtroom as you're sitting really literally just feet away from a man who's accused of these completely heinous crimes?
Well, it's gut-wrenching. I think you were there yesterday, Harry, and I think you saw firsthand the emotion, the family. I mean, the Petit and Hawke family are extremely brave and courageous people to go through this. They've showed solidarity between the families, and that's been heartwarming. But the whole case surrounding it is just it's awful.
People talk about the idea of things like closure or healing, and I'm not sure, after listening to the testimony in a case like this and realizing some of the facts, that a notion like that is even possible.
And you're right. I don't think there's. People have to understand. Some of the details of the case are coming out right now through the court proceedings. But the Petit and Hawke families have been dealing with this every day for the last 3 years, and it's going to continue. There will never be. Peace with most of us. It's always in our minds, and it'll always be reoccurring for us.
The Petit Family Foundation has been an important part of Dr. Petit's life now these several years, and there's an important event going on this weekend. Please tell us about it.
We have a Ride for Justice this Sunday. It's sponsored by Trantola & Trantola, a local law firm, and Outback Steakhouse, and the foundation. And the ride is going to start in Bristol, Connecticut, and end in Cheshire. We're hoping for a big turnout. The foundation has been a wonderful thing for Bill to really focus on and keep the memories of Jennifer, Michaela, and Haley alive by doing some good things out in the community and supporting some local charities and some national charities. It's given Bill and the family a sense of purpose in keeping the family and what the girls really believed in, how they were always giving individuals. So it's very good for him.
Ron, we thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir. You bet.